Hello friends, and welcome to another Fancy Flow. So for today's Fancy Flow, we're going to be working into the hips. Specifically, we're going to be opening up the hips and providing some strength and stability there for more long-term hip mobility. So we're going to begin in child's pose. We'll spend some time warming up a little bit, and then we'll get into some standing postures. So go ahead and settle into a wide-kneed child's pose if you're able. Of course, you can utilize props now or later as needed. And let the head rest, maybe to the floor, maybe to a prop. Just give yourself a few moments to settle in, to breathe into the rib cage, into the lowest lobes of the lungs. Maybe setting an intention for your practice if there's something that will kind of anchor your mind, that would encourage your heart. Begin to speak that over yourself here. And on your next breath in, we'll rise up slowly into a table position. As you come up, start simply just moving into some cat and cow. So letting the belly sink as you breathe in, the gaze lifts. And then as you breathe out, round the back, let the weight of the head go. Do that a couple of times. The next time you breathe in, with your belly dropping, your gaze lifting, hold on to it. Then curl the toes under. On your next exhale, lift the left knee off of the floor and out to the side, reaching the outer leg toward the space behind you as you drop your hips back toward the right heel. Really sink into this until you find a stopping point. And then inhale, come forward once more, tap left knee to the ground, reach the heart, cow pose. Exhale, right knee lifts as the hips shift back. And then right knee taps as you come forward, breathe in. Just keep going like this, nice and slow, or maybe you create a quicker rhythm, whatever works for you. We'll come back forward when you're ready. Go ahead and curl the toes under, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. In your down dog, pedal out the feet. Maybe roll out the ankles. And settle into stillness. Take a big breath in. Bend your knees, look forward. As you breathe out, step or gently hop to the top of your mat or your space. Lift to lengthen halfway up, reaching the heart forward. And then exhale, fold down, let the weight of the head go. Your next inhale will lift up just a bit. And as you exhale, take the hands to the ground, spin the toes out, and start to sink down into your Malasana squat. As you sink down, let the hips drop toward the floor, but the crown of the head lengthens up toward the ceiling. Relax through your jawline, your shoulders. Think about the outer hips really strong here, drawing them slightly out. Knees push out. And from here, we're going to release the hands forward of us. On an inhale, lift back up to your halfway lift, pivoting the toes forward. Then use your exhale to turn the toes out, sink the hips low. Inhale, lift up, halfway. Exhale, lower down, squat. About 4 more of these, just warming up the hips, so you can go as slow as you'd like. You can keep the hands there for these last few, or maybe you hover them. Last one. We're going to come all the way to stand when you're ready. Arms reach, toes forward, breathe in and out, hands to the heart. Let the arms drop to the sides. Relax the shoulders and begin to kind of turn the body and let the arms just dangle at the side. Kind of like a little rag doll. Let the arms just kind of tap the sides of the body. Don't need to give them any direction. Just allow the body to move organically. And then start to slow your rhythm. Coming back to center. Rolling the shoulders up, around, and back. Palms forward, Tadasana, mountain pose. In your next inhale, lift the arms upward. Exhale, dive down into your fold. Halfway up, inhale. So you exhale, step back into a plank position and tap the knees down. Take your next inhale to let the hips sink, almost like you're going into a version of your upward facing dog. And then exhale, shift the hips back into your child's pose. Inhale forward, let the hips sink, gaze reaches forward. Exhale it back, only going as deep in that back bend as it feels nice for your low back. Feel your belly ignite to kind of support the lower back. The next time you come through center here, go ahead and set up back into your table position. We'll curl the toes under, lift the hips up, downward facing. Once you arrive, lift the right leg for the sky, bend the knee, open the hip. If you want to, you can draw some circles. You can always come into table if you need less pressure on the wrists. We'll extend the leg to straight. Look slightly forward, breathe in. As you breathe out, draw the right knee to tap the right elbow, and then tap the right toes out to your right side. We're going to slowly pivot open to the long edge of your mat, coming into a side lunge. So the right knee is bent. Then we'll go side to side a couple times. So shifting over to the left and to the right. You can go as high or low in these Skandasana side lunges as you want. Next time you come into that right leg, go ahead and hold on to it. You can fold forward. You can even drop the hips down and take a little side body stretch over the left leg. Only rule is that you're breathing. So from here, we'll all begin to drop the hips down. So if you're still elevated on the feet, go ahead and drop back so you're seated. We're going to windshield wiper the knees over to the left and take a little twist here. So right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Nice gentle twist. Maybe you drop left ear to left shoulder. And we'll lift the head back to center. We're going to begin to place the left palm all the way down to the earth. Push into your shins as you lift your hips up. Open your chest. Breathe in. As you breathe out, start to move the body around toward the space behind you. Right hand lands as the left arm lifts. Breathe in here. And then exhale, come around. This is where we place the left hand and lift the hips up. And make your way back over to the right hand, hips down as the left arm lifts. One more time. Holding on to it here at the back of the mat or the space behind you. And then go ahead and come back into center. We're going to take the hands behind us and just start to windshield wiper the knees side to side, right and left. You can keep with this variation, just kind of using the floor as a foam roller for your hips. If you want a little more activity and engagement, rise up sort of to a seated position, reach the arms forward, and now begin to drop the hips side to side. So you're involving your core. You might be scooting off of your mat slightly if you do have a mat down. That's okay. Eventually, we land with the knees to the right. Let the hands land to the top of your mat. Pivot into your table position. Let's go ahead and take the right foot behind us. Press down into the heel. And then lift it up for your half spinal balance. Breathing in here. As you breathe out, draw the knee forward to the nose. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, draw it forward. One more time. Knee to nose. And then we'll step the foot through in between the hands. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee up, and rise up into your crescent lunge. Any variation you want here. I like to roll out my wrists. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, cactus through the elbows and tap your left knee all the way down to the earth if you're able. Once you've tapped, let the hands release down to frame the right foot. Shift your hips back into your half splits. You can lift and lower, create some pulsation. If you want to move into the IT band, maybe walking the hands off to the right side, dropping the pinky edge of the right foot down and shifting the left shin over behind you. Rooting down through the outer right foot and drawing back through the outer right hip. And now from here, we'll come back around. Go ahead and keep walking over to the left this time. Right foot plants as the right knee bends. Turn your left shin behind you for a modified warrior two. So get your stance set up so you feel stable, secure, and take the arms wide. Inhale, we'll lift the arms and rise out of the hips just a bit. And then exhale, sink back in. Do that a couple more times. Stick with it this time. Squeeze the outer right hip to the left inner thigh. Left hand lands to the left leg as the right arm reaches back behind you. Feel your obliques on the left side do some work. And then from here, go ahead and straighten your right leg enough so you can place your left hand down behind you, coming into a modified side plank. Stay here. Maybe you slide the right foot behind you for more of a modified wild thing, front body opener. And slide that right foot back, level with the left knee if you've moved it. Right hand to the right hip. On an inhale, come onto the big toe edge of the right foot and start to lift the outer right leg up. Exhale, tap the inner foot down. Inhale, lift the leg up. Keep going. 3, 2, and 1. And then from here, rise all the way up into your gate position, sliding the right hand down the right leg, left arm over. And then we'll come around, place the hands in front of us, sort of like tabletop. Curl the left toes under and start to sit back toward the left heel. Keep walking your hands in so you can lift the left knee up, lift the right toes up. You're back in your Skandasana. And then from here, we'll just pivot back to the top of the mat into a runner's lunge. Step back, move through a flow if you'd like, or go straight back to your dog, or right where we started into child's pose. This time is for you to kind of reset. The hips house a lot of our emotional tension and energy. So it's normal for there to be a lot of shakiness, a lot of uncertainty. And your long breaths help to calm the nervous system, help you to shed what you no longer need. So take 3 more. And then from here, we'll make our way into a table position. Curl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Let's take a full breath to kind of clear the slate, breathing in and out. When you're ready, we'll lift the left leg. You can bend the knee, open the hip, draw circles if you like. Eventually extend the legs straight. Breathe in as you look forward. As you breathe out, draw the knee to the left elbow and tap the left toes down to your left side. This is where we pivot to the long edge of the mat into a side lunge. And then we'll go side to side, so shifting now into the right foot and back into the left. Maybe you go no hands this time. Notice how your hips are fired up, ready to support you. We eventually land on the left side, or you can stay and fold. You could land your hips down, as we'll eventually all go here. Anything you want in terms of variation. It doesn't have to perfectly mimic what you did before. Maybe you need something different, something unique, so that you can actually feel more balanced in the end. Eventually, we'll all begin to tap the hips down. And we're going to begin to lean back into the hands and drop the knees over to the right, sort of like a little windshield wiper motion in a deer position with the legs. Right hand behind you, left hand to the right knee. Take a little twist. Peeking over the right shoulder. Maybe you drop right ear to right shoulder. Slow breaths. Head lifts back up. Right hand is going to plant firmly down in line with the outer right hip. Adjust your legs as needed and then push into your shins. Lift your hips up as you open out. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tap the hips down, circle the arms around, left hand behind you, hips stay grounded as the right arm lifts. We'll do that a couple more times. Come around, plant the hand, lift the hips. Keep going, one more round. Actually, let's do 2. Last time, we'll eventually land kind of with that left hand planted behind us. Right arm reaching, breathing in here. And then as you breathe out, just take both hands behind you and begin to drop the knees left and right. Windshield wiper motion here. You can maintain this nice grounded variation, or you can sit up a bit, reach the arms forward, work more with your core and with your hip strength. Doesn't always work. You decide where you need to go. We'll eventually drop the knees toward the top of the mat, plant the hands down, come into your table. Once you arrive, we'll take that left foot now behind us, press into the heel to release the back of the leg, and then lift the heel of that left foot. Look forward, breathe in, breathe out, knee to nose for 3, 2, last one. We're all going to step that foot through, help it up as needed. Once you're there, curl the right toes, lift the right knee, high crescent lunge, arms reach. Whatever you need in terms of variation, take it. We'll eventually lift the arms, lift the gaze. Then as you exhale, cactus the elbows, slow lower. Tap that right knee to the earth. Hands come down to frame the left foot. Shift your hips back, half splits. Movement is welcome. Stillness is welcome. What do you need? And from here, if you want to come into your IT band stretch, you could walk the hands off to the left. Turn the right shin behind you, pinky edge of the left foot to the earth. Take another breath here. We'll all come back around. Start to bend back into the left knee. Pivot the right shin behind you. Modified warrior 2. May need to cushion your knee if you've got some sensitivity there. Once you've found your shape, you feel settled, lift the arms and rise out of the hips a bit. And then exhale, sink back in as you level the arms to a T. Couple more. One more time. Hold on to it. Once you're in the position, begin to flip that left palm, reverse your warrior here. Right hand down the right leg, engage the right side body. And then we'll start to straighten the left leg a bit. Place the right hand down to the earth as you come into a modified side plank. You can stay here. You can open more up into a modified wild thing. Coming back around, left hand comes to the hip, left foot is in line with the right knee. Come onto the big toe edge of the left foot. On an inhale, lift the outer leg up. Exhale, tap it down. Keep going, a few more here. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and let the foot land. Rise up into gate position. Sliding left hand down the left leg as the right arm reaches overhead. And we'll come back up when you're ready. Place the hands in front of you, sort of like table. Curl the right toes under, start to sit back toward the right heel. Spin off of the toes of the left foot and then lift the right knee as you walk your hands in. So we're back in our Skandasana lunge. We'll start to move to the top of the mat. You decide to flow or not to flow. Meeting in down dog. Eventually into child's pose. Again, clearing the slate for yourself here. A couple more breaths. From here, we'll come up into table position. We're going to begin to slide that right knee to the right wrist, setting up for pigeon pose. Slide the left leg behind you. Use the muscles of the hips we've been working to stay upright. So see if you can sit upright with support, or maybe your hands can rest to your hips. Breathing into the hip flexor of the left leg. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, let all of that muscle tissue relax and start to sink down into your fold. I like to pause as soon as I start to feel the stretch, just to give myself time to kind of move into more of a yin posture, getting out of that doing active variation of the pose and allowing myself to move into more ease, more passive intentions. When you feel space open up, then maybe you find more depth in the pose. Let the belly be soft. And then we'll slowly start to rise up. We'll head into our table or our down dog, your choice. And you can stretch out that right leg. If you want a full wild thing, maybe you pivot to the pinky edge of the left foot. Right toes tap behind you as you press the hips upward. Eventually, we're coming back around into our table and just gliding that left knee up to the left wrist. Right knee scoots back. Starting with our active pigeon, so using the muscles of the hips we've been working to stabilize. And at the same time, this will isometrically stretch that right psoas. Breath moves deep here. And then let all of that engagement go as you sink in, finding that first little sweet spot. Allow yourself time to unravel, to settle. And a couple more breaths here. When you're ready to rise up, do so slowly. Guiding that back knee in, adjusting yourself to come into a final table or down dog, maybe flipping for your wild thing. When we come back around, we're just going to inch our feet to the top of the mat. Come down to a seat. Take the legs nice and wide here. Spine is long, breathe in, and then fold as you breathe out. And then we'll slowly make our way back up. We'll come down onto the back or wherever you'd prefer to go for Shavasana. I'm going to rest on my left side. Just taking a few moments here to absorb the space you've created. Noticing the warmth of your body. Letting your breath return to its natural rhythm. If you have the time in your day to stay here longer, feel free to pause the video. Stay as long as you'd like. And if you're ready to transition, start with gentle, easy movement. Maybe a full body stretch. Eventually rolling to the side body and using your free hand to push your way up to a comfortable seat. Hands to the heart. Feeling the rhythms of your heart beating, your breath moving, reminding you you've got everything you need. Namaste.